Hello, honorable members of the clan. So, guys, I want to say let's go back to the North Gauteng High Court. Well, we did go back to the North Gauteng High Court after the long adjournment. But I must be honest with you, I don't know what's going on with the SABC live stream because we're waiting for two. And then it was 10 past two. Then it was half past two. Then I was like, wait a minute, the court has not come back. And so then I went to ENCA Live, and Mr. Mnisi has been on the floor since 2 o'clock. And I lost a whopping probably 50 minutes of Mr. Mnisi on the floor. So I'm not quite sure what he was talking about or questioning Gininda. However, I think I caught up where he was talking about the warning statements. So I was like, okay, Mr. Sibanda 2.0 in Mr. Mnisi, what's happening? But I kind of like liked it because Gininda just hated it. Just like how we felt when Sibanda just kept biting and trying to get blood out of a dry bone. That's what Mr. Mnisi was. And it was quite interesting because if you really listen to Mr. Gininda, he's like, listen, I offered to bring these warning statements because we don't use the same warning statements. They're different from one police station to the next. And evidently, he has brought about 4, I think, or 5 of them. Some of them are as far as the Western Cape and the Eastern Cape, just to show how vast this type of warning statements can be, so that the defense do not stick to that one warning statement as to why it was not filled the way it was supposed to, and signatures and who else needed to be there to witness this particular warning statement, etc., and so on. But Mr. Mnisi was like, listen, in as much as I did eventually say, please bring us those copies of the warning statements, still, who did you get them from? And I was like, Mr. Mnisi, seriously? But then I understand protocol. This is, after all, a legal matter. The last thing that you want is Rata saying, did you canvass with the witness? Whom did he get these statements from, or these warning statements from? And then because you don't have an answer, he discards them and also expunge that from the court record. So I think Mnisi is on the right track here, and he just pressing the boot right on Gininda's thingy, and he doesn't like it at all. Of course, I will also not like what is happening. But I feel like I missed out on a lot during that cross-examination, which I am going to look at later while I'm lying in bed just to check. Yes, I am filming this the same night of the trial during the day. You guys going to see this video, of course, in the morning. So while I'm lying in bed, I am just going to check what exactly transpired after the long adjournment, because I feel it is quite important. So we know also that Mr. Mnisi gave Mr. Gininda this next assignment to find the FCC or some kind of documentation on whom Giako was. I don't think that this one is going to get Mr. Baloy seated as he is with the warning statements. I think Mr. Baloy will be forever standing up in objection, simply because I suspect that there is a discrepancy that was committed when it comes to Mr. Giako. Remember, the 2 confessions were admitted by Judge Rata because allegedly Mr. Ntanzi had a lawyer. He was represented by a lawyer. And Mnisi said, there's no need for a lawyer. I am here to confess and clear my conscience. So now that Giako was assigned to Mr. Ntanzi, there are several things that we are looking for from Mr. Gininda when it comes to Mr. Ntanzi. The power of attorney, the call to Mr. What do you call this? Giaco. By whom? Because Gininda is saying Ntanzi always had a cell phone on him, even in jail. And yet we had Mr. Mush, the one who went with Mr. Mabena to make an arrest on the 16th of June 2020 on Ntanzi. And he said they confiscated the two cell phones that he had on them. Ntanzi also, in the trial within a trial, he did confirm that he could actually hear his cell phone ping and also ring in the pocket of Mr. Mabena while they were busy taking him around for a tour of provinces during COVID. Can you imagine? Can you imagine the things that they've put Ntanzi through? But other than that, Mr. Gininda, if I remember, he said no. There was an SMS, and it even shows in the downloads from his cell phone to Mr. Mjiako. And then when we did our own, zooming in on Mjiako, it turned out, or at least that's what we believe, that he was working for the city of Johannesburg as a legal something there during that time when Mr. Ntanzi was being taken to Cronier's office as well as the Boksburg court. And this is where we also hear Ntanzi say, hey, I do not know this man. And then some lady popped with a withdrawal letter. Nobody knows who that lady was. These are the information that we want to know. Who was that lady? Who appointed her? From which firm? Where is the power of attorney? Where is the payments from Ntanzi to Mjiako? Because there's no way that Mjiako would do this on pro bono. Where are the bank statements? Where is this? And where? There's so many things that we want to know about Mjiako and the process that took place between the time Ntanzi was arrested to the time that he concluded the so-called confession with Cronje. So now we also understand that Mr. Makubo, one of the investigating officers, he was like, 636 is not it. 375 is it. And when he discovered, or at least suspected, that they are going to defeat the ends of justice, this is now Mr. Baloy as well as Mr. Gininda. Allegedly, he opened a case of defeating the ends of justice and a couple other charges against them. And now, because of two dockets, which I think is giving probably the NDPP a headache on how exactly will her office answer to this question. But we already heard of a letter coming from the DPP that said, well, let this first trial of 636 conclude, and then we are going to pay attention to 375, which does not make sense. Why it does not make sense? Because Gininda is busy on the stand, basically still painting Kelly Kumalo as the mastermind. And in South African law, if you look at the Constitution of the Republic of South Africa, Act 108 of 1996, if you go to Section 9, it will tell you about how we are all equal before the law. We are not an animal farm. So why is it in South African criminal law, when the mastermind is mentioned by the lead investigator, she is not arrested? Why she is not part of the panel of accused as accused number 6? In fact, as a mastermind, she would be accused number 1. So now why she's not there? Why was she not arrested? And it's a question that the MPA needs to answer. How is Kelly Kumalo more special than the other accused that are sitting in jail? I mean, not in jail, in the dock. Might as well be in jail, because by the look of things, it looks like the verdict is clear against these 5 people that are accused of unaliving Senzo Meiwa. That is my opinion observations, by the way. So there's a lot going on, and Mr. Mnisi is going to be canvassing all of these things in this particular trial when he continues to cross-examine Mr. Gininda, whom, by the way, I see he is really being pinned against the wall here. I think there was a point where he even forgot his own lies about this particular Simpi, where he was like, Memela. I don't know how many times he kept saying Memela. And I'm like, I'm now interested to know who this Memela person is. Was he supposed to be one of the accused? The one people that falsely accused? Or maybe he's the one who was like, I'm out of here. So why he kept saying Simpi Memela is what I'm interested in. But anyways, it was quite interesting to hear Mr. Mnisi, and I was quite impressed, even though I did not hear the majority of his cross-examination of Gininda since what do you call this long adjournment was over. I don't know what your thoughts are. What is it that you think that Mr. Mnisi should question Mr. Gininda about in this matter? Because it ain't looking good, Mr. Gininda. It ain't looking good. You have no case here. Absolutely no case here. But yeah, it is what it is. And let me go and nurse myself as well. And I will see you guys definitely tomorrow. Well, you're watching now. Good morning. Even though I filmed this last night. Good morning. And please, let's continue, guys, with the likes. They are still slacking a lot. So please continue to like the video. And thank you all so much for the comments. I read them all and I try to respond as much as I can as well. And I'll see you next time with a new video. Goodbye.